right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily, where of course you subscribe for our daily videos on everything going on with Bitcoin, crypto, the whole market. I am very bullish on the long-term future of Bitcoin. I've made no secret about that. I mean, on this channel, I try and show you the strong fundamental indicators, the green flags that to me suggest Bitcoin has a lot of room to grow. And one such strong fundamental that we're going to focus on today is the hash rate. So Bitcoin's hash rate, we have been on a tear. I mean, we're just exploding to the upside. At the time of recording, Bitcoin's hash rate, we are about to breach 90 million terahashes per second. So let's put that in perspective. So when Bitcoin's price hit its all-time high back in late 2017, when Bitcoin's price was $20,000, the hash rate then was less than 15 million terahashes per second. So today we're almost at 90. Back then we were at 15. So Bitcoin's hash rate, it's now about 6 times higher than it was when Bitcoin's price was at all-time highs, yet the price is 50% less. So it just seems to me that maybe Bitcoin's price is undervalued at the moment. But if that's the case, the question is, well, how much is it undervalued and how do we figure this out? So in today's video, using math, using public data, we're going to correlate the relationship between hash rate and price, and we're going to try and determine the true value of one Bitcoin. Of course, correlation, it doesn't necessarily equal causation, so take this attempt to correlate with a grain of salt. But let's be honest, even if this is not the proper way to analyze the data, either way, this is really good for Bitcoin. The hash rate represents the security of Bitcoin's network, and we like that the hash rate increases over time because that means Bitcoin as a network is becoming stronger over time. So either way, this is a very bullish fundamental indicator. But let's try and put an exact metric on it. Let's try and find out exactly how bullish. What's the true price of Bitcoin considering such a strong fundamental? And for that, we're going to start right here, COINMARKETEXPERT.com. Well, let's start off simple, and eventually we're going to work our way down to an exact price range that Bitcoin should be at. So the question to start off is there even a correlation between the price of Bitcoin and its hash rate? And according to them, there seems to be a correlation between the Bitcoin hash rate and the price of Bitcoin in US dollars. However, we note that the price of Bitcoin in USD seems to be a leading indicator, rising ahead of the actual increase in hash rate, which makes sense. The market seems to be pricing in the anticipated rise of the network's hash rate ahead of time. This makes sense because, after all, it's expectations that move the market. So if that's the case, and price is a leading indicator, how long is the lag between price and hash rate? And according to them, based on the chart below, it would appear that this lag is 9 months. Of course, the market is evolving all the time. So 9 months is a rough estimate of the lag. But you can see that, so between 2010 and 2017, 7 years of Bitcoin's history, the market seemed to price in the hash rate increase around 9 months ahead. Now, the correlation broke down during this yellow period right here. It broke down during the Bitcoin correction that took place over the 1-year period between December 2017 and December 2018. Their explanation for this is that during correction periods, markets go into panic selling mode and therefore tend to disregard all fundamentals. But let's get to the point. What should the hypothetical price of Bitcoin be based on the fact that we are at 90 million terahashes? Again, we reiterate that correlation does not always equate to causation. What we hope to achieve is a rough indication of whether Bitcoin may be really undervalued. So the first chart, which I'll show you in a second, does not take into consideration any lagging. They don't take into the fact that it lags. And well, let's go through this, but basically what they found is that, as expected, the results, since we didn't take into account the lagging, is not very significant at all based on the calculations. The number that they did reach is that Bitcoin's true value based on this first thing, is 13,537. Basically, what we're looking at right here is on the y-axis, we have the price of Bitcoin. And on the x-axis, we have the hash rate for Bitcoin. And basically what we're doing is a y equals mx plus b. If you remember from algebra, that determines the slope, that determines this trend line right here. So even though we found out that Bitcoin's price is around 13,527, R squared was only equal to 58%. And I'll save you a lot of, basically what you need to know about R squared is that if R squared, it determines the statistical significance, I guess. So what you want to see is a high R squared between 85% and 100%. This indicates that the stock or fund's performance moves relatively in line with the index. It's statistically significant. What you don't want to see is an R squared that is 70% or less. This indicates that the data is not really statistically significant. So since R squared right here was 0.58, 58%, we're going to try and run this data with knowing that there is a lag, a 9-month lag. And what we did find was that the results were more statistically significant. You can see here the new R squared is 76%. What they determined is that Bitcoin's true price is 14,791. No matter what set of, no matter how you interpret this based on those two ways, Bitcoin's true price, even though today we're trading just above $10,000, the true price is between 13,537, the first metric, and 14,791, the second metric. And that suggests that Bitcoin currently is undervalued 31% to 44%. So wanted to share this with you. Like I said, either way, depending on if you think that analysis was significant or not, the fact that we are exploding in hash rate, securing the network, it's a long-term bullish indicator in my opinion. And if you like that, support the channel, like the video, and let's move forward. Another reason, we're just going to touch on this for a second, another reason why I am bullish on Bitcoin going into the future is this article. This is just a screenshot. It appeared in The Economist on June 8th, 2019. The point of the article was this, that right now there are places on Earth where the internet does not touch. But as we go into the next 7 years, 710 million new internet users are going to get online. And many of those people are unbanked. And think Bitcoin. If only a fraction of those people find value in Bitcoin, that's going to be good. Just as more time passes that Bitcoin is still on this earth, trust is going to be put in it. Like I told you before, think back in 1999 or 1995. A lot of people at that time were asking the question, is the internet even still going to be around in the future? Do we need this? It's kind of clunky. Well, then cut to 10 years later, in 2005, everybody pretty much just accepted the internet is here to stay. With time comes trust. And, the question always is, the FUD, I guess, or a logical question is, well, how is Bitcoin, what happens if we have a global internet or electricity shortage? What's going to happen to Bitcoin? And first of all, the proof of work would already be done. So we could get the electricity back and we'd still have our coins on the blockchain, I'm pretty sure. Besides that, if the whole worldwide internet went down, the traditional financial banking system would have a major problem too, because they have all their data stored online. But besides that, it's more likely that that doesn't happen. And what's more likely is we are going into an age where more and more people are going to be online, and the internet is going to get more and more easy to use. Kids today are asking for Fortnite bucks, V-Bucks, or whatever they're called. Kids today trust Bitcoin and stuff like this more and more. And with the rest of the world joining in the internet world and for the next 7 years or the next decade, I think this is another reason why I am long-term bullish on Bitcoin. Now, I actually asked this question to you on our Twitter. You can always follow us on our Twitter at altcoindailyio. I posed the question, Bitcoin's hash rate is exploding. What does this mean? Think big picture. Now, I haven't gotten a ton of answers yet, only 3, but I appreciate everybody who liked the video or shared this video. We're going to read some of the answers. Benedict McGowan says, do you remember? Not sure what that means, but in this video, I tried to articulate my point of view. Okay, thank you, Zach. It means my S17s are mining less and less. Okay. Como says CoinMine is a good doorstop nowadays. I guess if he has CoinMine, maybe it's not mining as well with the hash rate. I'm not sure. And if you have an answer to this question, feel free to follow us on our Twitter and participate or let us know below. Let's take a quick look at the current price of Bitcoin. We are still trading in this descending wedge. I'd actually say, and I've said this before, it's possible that Bitcoin, I can make the argument that Bitcoin under, if you believe in Bitcoin, a Bitcoin under $20,000, a Bitcoin under all-time high is still a good buy, because we've seen in past cycles that after Bitcoin surpasses its previous all-time high, it's really when, the train starts moving, the FOMO starts moving, the media starts reporting on it, everybody's in profit. That's when the frenzy starts. Now, when's that going to be? It's not normal, historically speaking, for Bitcoin to surpass an all-time high before the halvening. I mean, I guess we don't have a lot of data yet, but if we trade under $20,000 for the rest of this year, I think that's still healthy, as long as we stay maybe, somewhere around here. I think, that would be a healthy growth. Just like we've seen in the past, Bitcoin will spend a lot of time consolidating in an area, and once we pump up, we kind of have a reconsolidation, a reaccumulation, and we stay there for some time, never go back to the previous level. Then eventually that happens again, same thing, never going back to the previous level, and again and again. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Once again, my name is Aaron. This is Altcoin Daily. Hope you have a great day, great rest of your year. I will see you tomorrow.